It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Tonight on Trains and Tech, it's a little bit of a smorgasbord of topics. I am going to get to what updates I have been making on the layout, but before we get there, I do have a bunch of other things on my desk to show off. I am just very excited that the stream actually started tonight. We haven't quite gotten all the bugs worked out, but we're getting there a little bit at a time. Dennis wants to talk about abandoned trackage. I don't know if he's talking about on his layout or if he's talking about in the real world. But if people want to talk about abandoned trackage, sounds like Dennis is going to be hosting a conversation on that topic this evening. If you are a member of the channel, you've probably seen previews of some of the items that I'm going to show tonight, but of course, we get to chat about it together, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. I'll do the best to keep up with the questions and see what people have to say. First thing I thought I would talk about is a little soldering project that I partook of, and I just realized, of course, this is upside down. Why is this upside down? Does anybody know? It was right side up the other day. Oh, I know why it's upside down. Anyway, we'll just fix that and we'll just get on with stuff. Don't mind me. I've been soldering these little TrackMen. These are HO scale, but I am going to use them on my N scale layout. Basically what they are is a DCC. It's an LED that you can put on a DCC layout, and it'll tell you if you have track power. And this guy's got blue LEDs, so kind of imitates a flagman. This guy's got a red LED on him. He's holding one up. The guy with the blue has one up and one down. But they got contacts on the bottom. So you just sit this on your layout and they light up and you can tell if your track's working. My reason for soldering these up now is I'm getting close to the point where I'm going to need to start testing my detection on the layout, and these are going to make it really easy because these do show as a block occupied, so you can just put them down on the track that you're trying to locate and it will show up as occupied in the computer. These are designed by a gentleman named John Plocker. You can go to John's website and you can get all of the files and everything if you want to, buy all the pieces and parts separately and put them together. But if you want to just buy a kit that you can just build, if you go to Model Railroad Control Systems, Model Railroad Control Systems is where I buy the switch machines that I am using over here in Manhattanville, those low-profile MP5 switch machines. He also has these, I believe if you look up flag, search for flag, I think they're called flagmen, technically. But yeah, they come in a couple parts, the LEDs, the resistor, and you just solder the man onto the base. Not too bad of a project. I was able to handle it, so I think other people probably can as well. There's going to be some soldering. I don't think you can build a layout without any soldering, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some other soldering stuff that I'm gonna do later. But I've seen these on layouts that I operate on, that people use them during their op sessions. They come in packs of 4, so I actually have 4 of the little blue guys and 4 of the little red guys. So I'll just spread them out around the layout, and if people want to use them, they can use them. It is a cool little gadget. I'm all for little gadgets. The other thing I really like about these is I have some other track testers, but these are a good size that you won't lose them as quickly as you might lose other items. So that is one thing. The next thing I'm going to show off is this thing that you can see right under here. This is a laser cut piece of wood. I should probably show this just so we understand. I've got a problem. There's all kinds of stuff here on the desk. If you don't have a problem, you might get lucky and not be dragged into buying any of this stuff. But I see stuff like this and I can't help I just love this type of stuff. So the NMRA created a standard for which you can, if you want, weigh your cars. And basically you're looking to make your cars heavy enough that they stay on the track, but not too heavy that your locomotives can't pull them around. I just realized what you guys were talking about now. So yeah, I do not solder certain things. Like my wiring, I try and use lever nuts so that if I have problems, I can easily troubleshoot the wiring. But things like soldering feeders to the track or building these track men or other sort of things like that, I definitely solder. Yeah, Ron, that's I got them both for track testing as well as for flagmen during operations. And yes, Otter Creek, absolutely, absolutely have the same problem. This is supposed to be my layout right here, and as you can see, there's piles of stuff. So this takes the NMRA standards for weight, and it is laser cut into a piece of wood. This is a company called Prawn Designs, Prawn. So like a like shrimp, but a prawn. So Prawn Designs, and he does some laser cut items. You know, small shop guy. But I thought this was a really neat way of being able to find out the weight of what your cars should be. After a while, I'll probably just know that, you know, a 40-foot car is this and whatnot and so forth. But this is a nice little easy device. The way it works, or at least the way I'm going to use it, so I'm going to put it on top of my scale, turn my scale on, and it'll zero out. So I don't know if you can see that, but it says 000 right now. And then you take your car and you put it in the groove and you slide it over to the left side. And then you read to the right side of the car and you see what the weight says. So this weight says it should be 1.1 ounces. This car, if you can see, says 1.13 ounces. So this guy is pretty much good to go. Now I am going to swap this guy out to metal wheels, which will make him a little bit heavy, but for end scale operations, I find being a little bit on the heavy side is a good thing. But there are other cars that when you go to weigh them, you'll find out that this is a 36-footer instead of a 40. So this one should be about 1 ounce, and it's actually only 0.71. So I'm about, you know, a quarter of an ounce off. So what I bought were these wheel weights. These are 1/8 ounce. You can also get 1/4 ounce. Yes, Dave. Prawn Design. That's exactly the name of the company right there. So Nathan Five Chime. The reason they don't short out the track when you put them on the track is because of the resistor that is on them. It provides just enough resistance to basically light up the LEDs, but not to short out the track. And yes, if you put it down this way instead of this way, right? So like if you're, this way, it won't short out the track. If you put it that way, you'll short out the track. Stuff happens, Won't be the first time I short out the track during op sessions, or won't be the last. So I've got these little eighth ounce weights. These are wheel weights like you would use if you were balancing a car tire. And I just figure out how many weights that I need to get to, and I need scissors because I didn't cut these ahead of time. Let's actually use a knife. So they come on this whole like string. So I'm just gonna cut these off here. If I can get in here and cut them off. And what I do is I just take the weights, drop them on the scale, and just kind of keep adding weights until I get this to where I want. I will generally try and put the weights over the wheels themselves. Especially if the car doors open, because then that gives you, you can still open the doors and not see the weights. But, basically now I'm at 1.06. So you can this one doesn't have doors that open. So I would just take this car apart and stick those weights on the inside, and we'll be good to go. The chart does not have a gram equivalent. It is ounces only, but I'm sure you could probably, go through and change it, or, reach out to, I think it's Bob is the gentleman's name at Prawn Designs. You can reach out to him and see, maybe he'll consider making it in grams. But I don't find, for my use, I've found that it's, that it works out pretty well. And I just like that, it's got this little track guide for the car to go in. They do make a PDF. There is a PDF online that you can download and print out, but that PDF doesn't have the nice little groove in it, and I just find I just like that. I like that. Ron, congratulations. We just cost you some money. You can join our I Have a Problem club, and anybody is more than welcome to join. Should I keep going, because we might come into some other things that cause some more spending. So why don't we just keep going, right? We'll keep going. I was gonna say, let me move this off to the side, and then I realized, like, I don't really have a side that's not full of stuff. I have stuff everywhere. All right, so the other thing we've got here, this is something that probably people are not going to buy, so I'll mention this next just to give everybody a little bit of a break. I'm on a Facebook group called N-Scale Barons, and one of the members posted that there was a good sale on these. These are Athearn Overton, a 4-car set, New York Central. And I was kind of like, oh, those look really cool. So it's a 4-car, old school set of passenger cars, and it was at a good price. These don't fit my era. I don't know that I would ever run these on my layout, but it was hard to pass up a deal, right? I mean, it was such a good deal. How can I not get them? So that's another thing to add. Oh, one thing I should mention too that's kind of nice with the weights and stuff is in JMRI. If you use JMRI Operations Pro, if you put in the length of the car, it'll calculate the weight for you as well. So if you're somebody that doesn't want to use sort of this. So what I like about this is I could take this upstairs, sit in front of the TV, and just kind of, work on it and weigh cars. If you're a computer person, you can get the, the weights and stuff, as well. And yes, Ron, I did see your basement. Let's get to some stuff that I think other people might be interested in, or at least things that that I have found have been extremely, that I've been very happy with. So these are small containers that I get from IKEA. I don't know about anybody else, but I get piles of stuff, right? So like, here's a thing of, screws, and then here's another thing of screws, and then, I've just got things. So you get these at IKEA. I think the small ones are like 39 cents, and the big ones are like 59 cents. So I was coming home from an op session, and about halfway between the op session and my house is an IKEA. So I stopped in the IKEA and just picked up some more of these because they fill up. So, the long ones are nice for, like I'll sometimes like just throw the tools that I'm working with on one of the long ones. But it's just a nice way to kind of keep everything organized. And for the price, I mean, they're very, very, very cheap. Yeah, the pre-orders will get you. Pre-orders get you as well. Yeah, a lot of people go to IKEA too, and storage shelves, and there's a lot of model railroad stuff that you can find in IKEA. Go to the rug section. You can get a really cheap rug to put on the floor in your layout room. So a lot of different things you can find there. For the people that are into operations, if you operate or are interested in operating on a model railroad layout, model railroaders have adopted some of the operating rules that everybody that are like used by railroads, but a lot of them they didn't use. So these two people, Karras, I guess, and Hamner, I'm not sure who they are, basically went and took the rules from 1951. They found the rules that they thought were important for model railroaders, and they got rid of all of the rest of the rules. So you can go, and I know I've showed these before or whatnot. You can go and get a specific rule book for your era and for what you're running. But if you're just looking for just a general book on, the general sort of rules that apply to model railroaders, check this out. It's on a website called Lulu, Lulu.com. It's one of those print-on-demand websites. But if you just look up Condensed Code of Operating Rules on Lulu.com, or if you even just search for it, it's just got all of the various rules in here. I have not found a rule on safety shoes yet, though. So I still feel comfortable in my layout room walking around barefoot. But yeah, this is a good reference if you're interested in operations or just want to learn a little bit more about actual model railroading. Should we get back to tools? I know people like tools. I like tools. Somebody already posted about this. And when I saw them post about it, I just jumped at it. And I said, I need that also. Do I really need it? No. But I do. Yeah, I don't know, Lulu. Yeah. So I saw this and I had to get it. This is more about organization, and it is one thing that drives me crazy is that when I need a drill bit, especially small drill bits, and you can't find them. So this is a kit from NK, E-N-K-A-Y. There is a tool supplier that was at Amherst that had these for sale for, I think, like $42 or something. You can get them direct from NK for about the same price. And they are an organized way to store all your micro bits. Because the current way that I store my pin vise and bits is like this. So when I need a drill bit, I just sort of go through here and just sort of find something close. And, it's fine, it's worked so far. But as I'm trying to get a little bit more specific in what I am doing, and I'm probably in the next month or two going to start working on my switch stand project. I just thought having accurate, small bits would be good. Like I'll pick a size. There's the kit comes with 5 in each size, and then like you can go out and obviously buy other kits and refill it and stuff like that. Some people will use. You can go and buy like what are those called? Lipstick things. And you drill out your own board and you mark it and you do all this stuff. You put the lipstick holders in there for $40. I was just gonna buy this set. So it comes in this nice little box. It closes up nice. It does come with a pin vise as well. I don't know how good this pin vise is. I have not tried to use it. I don't know that I will try and use it. I have a nicer one here that I do like, but you know, a good pin vise definitely makes a difference. Good pin vise bits. I put the logo on it so that I know which way is up or down. Oh yeah, test tubes would be a good thing as well. Anything with a little cap on it though, you probably definitely want a little cap so that things don't doesn't fall out. A real surgeon knows where his tools are. Yeah, I don't. I lost a tool the other day. Well, I don't know that it's a tool. What is this? Use the new DSPIE pin vise. I'm gonna have to look that up because DSPIE pin vise. Always looking for more tools that I absolutely do not need, and I'm a sucker for them. So this be universal pin vise handle model railroading tools. I'll drop the link in the chat. This is recommended by Interaction Hobbies. It looks like it is a almost $30 pin vise, so I would hope at that price that it's good. I guess I should have put like pin vise in front of that. People are going to come back later and be like, what is that random link for? So yeah, I have several pin vices for specific drill bits. Great investment. There you go. See, I agree. This looks like a nice pin vise. The biggest problem I find with the cheaper pin vices is when you get down to the smaller bits, they do not hold the bits very well. And that becomes a problem. So I lost something the other day. Let's talk about what I lost. I think I may have posted about it in the community channel. I don't remember. But this is a rotary switch that I am going to use for my programming track. I have a couple different ways that I'm going to program locomotives. One will be through JMRI Decoder Pro. Another will be through the command station, and a third will be with the ESU programmer. So my thought was, instead of just having random wires and everything, I would just put this little thing together. So this is a rotary switch I got on Amazon. I think it's either 9 or 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's an 8-position switch. I only need 3 of them for now, but the 8-position switch was a lot cheaper than any of the other ones. It is dual pole, meaning that it is switching both wires. This is the output side here, so this will go to the track, and then I'll just wire up the different inputs. And I'm going to put a little, I don't know if we'll be able to see this, but I'm going to put a little test track right here. So just kind of in front of the window here. This is a little narrow section. It's not really in front of any industries, but I thought that would be a good spot just to put a little test track to program locomotives and stuff. Yes, I did. I did find it. I put it in a very, very safe spot so that I would not lose it. So the first thing I did was lose it. And this little project enclosure is also something I got off of Amazon. So both these parts off of Amazon weren't very expensive. And it does come with a little, a little fancy dial as well, if I can get it to slide on. Well, they're set screws and stuff, so the one set screw is probably preventing me from, there we go. So, it'll slide on, and I'll be able to switch to the different programming tracks, and it'll be nice. So yes, I did find it, but I did not find the banana with it. Yes, you can get into things like bridging the points, but I am definitely not going to do that because I do not want the chance of backfeeding one DCC system into another. So I am going to actually use like every other. So I'll use 1, 3, and 5, let's say. That way, when I'm switching from 1 to 3, there is a spot in the middle, the 2 spot, where it'll be completely dead. Completely dead. It'll be completely not, no power. And just that way, so nothing shorts out. No, Job, unfortunately, it's not going, I know. Andrew L. says, I bought a pin vise at a train show and it's pretty much junk. Small bit that I used to make a hole for an HO railing. The bit wouldn't stay straight. It went sideways no matter what I do. Yeah, cheap tools are great, but, sometimes it doesn't work out. The subway is energized. It's more just that I have so many projects going on. It's just kind of the way it is. Lynn McCurdy lost power in the train room. Lynn told me earlier he's not feeling well either, so it's been a night for him. Yeah, so the technical name is break before make. A simple example of break before make is, and I'm looking to see if I have one handy. So this is a great example of break before make. The ground pin is longer than your power pins. So your ground pin will always touch first when you're plugging it in, and it'll always touch last when you're pulling it out. So this is kind of an example of a little bit what I'm doing here is that, I will switch to a spot where the power is not, connected so that I'm not shorting anything out as I plug things in and out. Dominic, I did. It is still unread and it's still sitting in my inbox. Just I don't have a good excuse. No good excuse. It's funny you say that. Space heater should be on a separate circuit. I saw that, Grandpa Rails. The heater that I have in here, when it kicks on, all the lights in the room dim. So it's kind of funny, but it's kind of not funny. Lauren Hurwitz, who's my dad. Dad, I think you're a little behind in the chat. we talked about the weights like 10 minutes ago, but just to go back, yes, these are wheel weights that you use to balance a wheel, and they come with adhesive on the back of them. So yeah. So they will. I'll open up the car and I'll stick them over where the trucks are in the car, just to add the weight over the trucks instead of over a different part. It looks like OTR might have also lost his heater. Oh, I've actually done that. When I'm on my phone, sometimes I think I have hit the send button and I don't, and I realize much later that I forgot to hit the send button, and sometimes I hit the button and sometimes I didn't. One exciting thing that's coming up, I have pretty much been limited to weekend operation sessions. And I have been very, very fortunate that some amazing people run amazing layouts on the weekends. And I've been extremely fortunate that I've been able to get invites to some of these operation sessions. I've never done an op session on a weeknight after work. Where I live and not having a car, it's just kind of difficult to get around sometimes. But I got invited to a layout and they're operating on Friday night. It's about a 2-hour trip via the train. I have to get on the Long Island Railroad. It's about a 2-hour trip to get out there, so it'll be 2 hours back. They start the session at 8 o'clock, so it won't be an early night. But I just think it'll be fun to, like, you know, get out there a little bit. So Friday night after work at 6 o'clock, I'm going to leave here, head out to Long Island for an op session. I have been to this layout before. In this area, we have, well, last year we had 2 big events. Usually there's just one, but we have an event called Island Ops. Fantastic event, great way to get to see some of the area layouts. And then we last year had the NER convention. At the NER convention, I had the opportunity to operate on this layout. I think it's a New Mexico-based layout, definitely kind of Southwest. No green on the layout. It's all your tans and your, that sort of desert scenery and stuff like that. So it's just a very different layout, but another really nice, really well done layout in this area. So I'm just happy I'm going to be able to go out there after work and check it out, and I'll sleep in a little bit late on Saturday, waking up with just enough time to catch the Back on Track guys. But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, we do anything we can that's bigger-ish, we will get it delivered. It's just kind of the way it is. Alan from Mason-Dixon says, we do ops on Tuesday nights here in the Sticks. There are a few that also run on weekends, which I will occasionally visit. Last weekend, I was at the New York and Atlantic. Fantastic ops session. He had a really great crew there. Ran a ton of passenger trains, a lot of freight stuff. It was a very, very packed op session, and it was a lot of fun. The gentleman who owns that layout does op sessions both on the weekend and during the weekdays. So he's actually doing at least 2 op sessions a month. I don't know how he does it, but I think he's one of the few that do both, nights and weekends. But yeah, I mean, if this works out, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll venture out more on work nights. I guess a little bit I have in my head, it's a school night. I shouldn't be, traipsing out to Long Island, but it is a Friday, so. I'm gonna give it a shot. I know Heath knows and has seen the HD High Desert Modular Model Railroad Club doing ops at train shows like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, Lynn did just post a video about it as well. I am going to turn on the lights in here a little bit, and we'll take a little look around the room at some projects that I have been working on, and some things coming up, and why I changed my plans. Because like some of you in the poll have stated, let's see, we've got when building your layout, did you make any changes along the way? I'm reading the poll right now. 77% of the people said I changed as I went. 21% said I did not have a plan at any time. And 1% said they've never changed anything. I want to know, out of those 57 votes, who was the person that never, ever changed anything. Yeah, I am noticing it looks like on YouTube it's a little dark tonight. I don't know why it's doing that. All right, we'll see if that's going to work. Got some lights on behind me. Russ, I am having a lot of fun Model railroading has been a really great outlet for me over the last couple of years. Yeah, so Thomas, the funny thing about the layout here on the shirt is it is already not accurate to what has been built. It's pretty close. It's pretty close, but it's it's not 100%. And the thank yous have been updated as of tonight. So if you're a member as of tonight, you'll see your name pop by. I have been posting photos. So what I'm about to get to, if you're a member, you've seen some preview photos, but we're gonna just check out some of that stuff that's behind me. So now that you can see a little better, let's go to this camera and we'll go over here. So this is the window to the room. The window's actually open right now, but it's nighttime, so you can't see anything. I actually have the air conditioning on. I don't know why, but I got so hot today that I plugged in the air conditioning. Yeah, remake the shirt. If people are interested in the shirts, if you go to merch.humancity.org, you can buy this shirt as well as other stuff. You can buy, you know, stickers and whatever or whatnot. If people are interested in this kind of stuff, I'll make more of them. So this is where I'm gonna put yeah, it's like I just have stuff everywhere. Over here is where I'm gonna put the programming track. I wonder what camera that is. I don't know if that camera is gonna work. Let's try something. Layout camera 9. There we go. Look at that. So right here is. It's not double mainline, it's mainline and a yard track here, and it's just a skinny area because if I need to get to the window, I wanted to leave things open. But this is all, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this piece of wood right here, it's 2 inches wide, and I'm gonna put it right here, and I am going to use the rotary switch that I've got, which I have over here, and this rotary switch I'm just going to mount up underneath it, and this will be just where I do the programming, and I think it's a decent spot for it. It's near the computer. My mouse and everything is wireless, so it's not too far from things. I think it'll be a good spot for it as well. Barry, it depends on the day. Russ says he lost his power on Monday night during Tom's stream. No space haters were involved. Someone decided to park their car on a power. Yeah, people do that sometimes. If I see drop feed wires, the worst job in model railroading. Should we talk about that? I think that might be an interesting topic. I just started using this soldering iron right here. This is based on the TS100. I was introduced to it, I believe, through Roy Eltham. The tips are replaceable. They're standard TS100 tips. But this is called the Pencil, P-E-N-C-I-L, made from a company called Pine 64. You can get it on Amazon, but it works off of USB. You probably can't see that, but there's a USB and a barrel connector on the end. And using this little soldering iron has been so much easier than using Pinecil, P-I-N-E-C-I-L. There you go. See, Roy's got it right. It has been so much easier using this than using the getting the whole station out, especially because you're moving around the room and stuff like that. And the price too is I'm getting the link for anybody that wants it. The price on it is just fantastic for what it is. Soldering iron. The price is great on it. I did end up buying a power supply for it, a specific power supply for it. It will run off of like a MacBook power supply or a like a bigger, beefier power supply, but this is a 140 watt one, so it's nice and beefy and provides more than enough power on this to solder all the feeders. So I just haven't gotten to it yet to solder the feeders. So it's next on the list, which is why I've got it sitting out there. But if you are somebody that, oh, so the other thing, yeah, Roy has done a lot of electronic stuff, so he is a great resource if you have questions about tools or anything in that neighborhood. There is an Anchor power bank, like one of those USB power banks that you can get that will power that soldering iron. So you can take and stick that in your pocket. And if you have like a really big layout, you could just stick the power bank in your pocket and just walk around and solder your, you know, anything you want on your layout with that little soldering iron. So I used that for part of the soldering of my little flagmen. It just works. It's working well for me, and I'm enjoying it. So what have I accomplished over the last little bit? This was the area that I had finished. I had basically finished. When I say finished, I mean like the track is laid and I can run trains on it. It's not finished. I am still doing a lot of work on JMRI, getting that side of it working. But yeah, don't do that. Don't put the soldering iron in your pocket. Don't do that. So this was what I had done, and my original plan, this whole like what plans changed thing, was I was going to stop here and not do any of this here and just move on to the north side. Because if we look at the layout, I had this part done here up to this corner. And then this part here is basically just an industry and the wall. So there's not a lot going on here. But then here is the main yard. And my thought was, oh, I'll just put a temporary track from here to here, and I'll build this part and I'll build this part. Really what was happening, and when I finally admitted it, it's kind of why I was able to change things. But what was happening was that I was just nervous about trying to install oh boy, that is too good. That is good job. Good job. Very good job. What I realized is I was just really nervous about all of the switch machines along that wall over there. This is where I'm using the, that's not a great view. Hold on. This is where I am using all of the MP5 switch machines. So the wiring is a little more complicated. And because of the way I am building out this section, where I've got these like cutouts and stuff, instead of mounting the switch machine here, the switch machine for this guy is actually mounted back here. Because I didn't want, I didn't want a switch machine hanging down here. I wanted to be able to keep this as tight as possible. So the switch machine's back here. So what I'm going to do is bend a wire and have the wire go from the switch machine here up to the throw here, and then it'll throw it from there. And I was just really nervous about doing all that work. And I didn't want to ask for help. And eventually what I decided was I was just going to ask for help. And if you guys don't know, Andy Estep Pandy Projects, who is my neighbor uptown, his day job is working with brass wire and making custom mounts and for various items. So I was like, Andy, like, would you mind helping me? Like, it's what he does, it's what he knows. Having his expertise at bending up some wire that needs to, like, remote throw these bars. So I finally just asked him, and he said, yeah, sure, absolutely, I'd love to come over. And I was like, oh, well, that wasn't so hard. So instead of skipping this area, basically in 4 hours, I got all the track in there and got all the feeders pulled through. And yes, I do still have to solder all the feeders. The track and everything is still, it's not glued down or anything. It's just sitting here for right now. And I don't think I'm going to glue it down until after we do the wires, just in case I need to, adjust something. It allows me to move things a little bit. But essentially, in 4 hours, I just got this section done. And I'm going to wait till Andy comes over. We'll work on the throw rods for this, and this will be done. And then it'll just be a matter of, I know I just showed this this way earlier, but I'll show you the mess that is my layout as well. Somebody just said, yeah, the ballast will hold the track in place. Yes, the ballast will, but I want to make sure that the track is as flat to the benchwork as possible. So to make sure the track is flat, I'm using enough glue to keep it flat and stuck to the benchwork, and I'm just weighing it down until the glue dries. So I took all my 1, 2, 3 blocks. I put some painter's tape on them just to keep it so it's not metal on metal, and I just, doesn't take a lot of glue. I just put down enough glue to to keep it down, keep everything in order. So to lay a tortoise on its side, they actually make kits you can get. You can probably just do some of your own wiring and bend wires and stuff like that. But Circuitron does make a kit for mounting the switch machines on their side as well. Where's the lighted turnout guys? There is no lighted turnout guys. Are you talking about these guys? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you talking about the LEDs that are in the benchwork? There is, you won't be able to see them, but there are LEDs in the benchwork, sometimes between, sometimes under, but there are LEDs inside the track that will light up depending on which way. Yeah, so I'm using white glue, PVA glue. I've got my, not sponsored, but I have my big thing of Elmer school glue, and I just, kind of a thin layer of this, just enough to get the stick. If I need to move the track, I just, break out the spray bottle give it a little bit of a spray, wait a couple minutes, come over, and it comes right up. So the PVA glue is holding it down just enough, essentially, to keep it in place so that I can do all my testing. And once I get to ballasting it, it's never gonna move again. It's just the way it is. Yes, those guys. Oh yeah. So these aren't for turnouts. They are if you're doing operations and you see like a red flag is stop. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, a blue flag, I don't know. Is anybody still here that can actually explain what a blue flag is? When you need to protect your train because you're doing some work and you've got some cars, let's say, on the main line and you're doing a move as a local, you'll put a flagman with a blue flag at the back of your train so that if a train does come up on you, it sees the blue flagman. But I don't know what the rule is called. It's probably in this book. No, that's not blue. What's not blue? This is blue. But yeah, so a lot of the layouts I go to use the blue flagman to block the trains. Or is blue for a second section? I think blue's to block the trains, but it could be for a second section also. I don't know. Somebody will eventually tell me I'm wrong, and I probably am wrong. Blue is in front of the industries, and the conductor has to get the industry person to remove the blue flag and let you in. That is one use of a blue flag. I have seen that use of it as well. But I've also seen the train crew guys use it as well. They're used in industrial ops. Maybe we've been using them wrong this whole time. It very well could be. Very, very well could be. I'm having problems with one of my cameras up here. I don't know if you guys hear it. It's like beeping and going on and off. I looked up what does a blue flag mean. One is a flower and the other is to signal slower race cars to let faster race cars pass. A blue flag is for the protection of mechanical forces when they are working on equipment. Isn't the blue flag rule in the book? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, did you, Alan, did you order one of these books? Sorry about that. Yeah, blue flag, no entry into, yeah, what they said above. So let's go back to this corner here. I did order all of the pieces and parts that I'm going to need to build this actual industry. For right now, what is there is just a paper example. But because I was building this area while I was doing it and working on it, I cut another hole in the back of the layout. Unfortunately, it doesn't take me into another room. It is just a hole right there. I put a piece of black wood right here just so that if people do kind of see in from this direction, there'll be the black piece of wood. I am going to probably fill this back in a little bit kind of on this angle. But for the most part, it's basically hidden and you pretty much can't see it. But what it does do is it allows me to get a little bit more space here. If I can get the car on the track, there we go. Allows me to get just a little bit more space as that car goes into that hole. So now instead of basically being a one car industry, I now have at least a 2-car industry, because that one car will go all the way into the back, and like another car can can then be in front of it here. So the part of the idea of this building is that it oh, the camera is not focusing. Part of the idea of the building is that this backdrop here curves, and I wanted something to tie this side of the layout to this side. Yes, this track is a pretty sharp curve, pretty sharp radius. It's just the nature of what I had to do to be in this room. So this building doesn't take away all of the reality that this is a corner, but it does trick the eye just a tiny bit that this is not, you know, a whole corner. So it was one thing that I kind of added in there to try and tie things together a little bit. The goal, the plan is that this track here, the entire track, so this track I think is long enough that what I am thinking is that I am going to have an icing, like a single icing spot right here at the front. So any cars that are going to pick up goods that need to get iced will get iced right here, either coming in or going out or however they need to. I'm thinking then I will have another, another spot somewhere, kind of in this area with another kind of background structure here. And then obviously there will be that building in the corner that'll get 2 cars or so. So multiple industries on the same spur. So you might have to pull, some cars out that aren't ready to get pulled out, get the cars out from behind it, move things around. It's not going to be actual ice. It's just they are iced reefers. So that's going to be the plan. Liz says, Rick the tree and my buildings will fit right in there. I do have, actually, your buildings are right here. Let's pull those down real quick and see if they fit. They are, unfortunately, they are of a different era from, what am I grabbing? They are, unfortunately, from a different era from what I was kind of originally thinking. So this is from Lynn McCurdy, A. Burns Box and Crate. That guy there with the roof that I unfortunately took off, that is from Dennis at Otter Creek and Rio Grande. Goes this way. If you have not seen any of their stuff, so... Oh, it looks like I actually broke the roof off. I'll need to glue that back on. This probably goes better this way. I think there's a dock somewhere, I believe, for Mooney's. I know there's a dock for this guy. And then I've also got this here. And unfortunately, this is too big. This is way too big for this corner. Unfortunately, they don't really fit the time period, but they're definitely some cool stuff. I asked you, Heath, for what you wanted. Yes, and that was when I was building the other layout, because we've talked about it, and I made a big change. I changed from what I was doing before, and that building fit perfectly in that. What I want to try and do is where I think I'm going to use at least these two, is I'm going to use those more over on, in this area over here, where it's kind of like the transition from the upstate area to the city. And I think I will have enough room along there to put those buildings in. So, yes. Sorry about those YS should be TS, Paul says. Now I'm looking for Paul's original comment. Oh, black flag is to lock out something for the railroad. There we go. We'll figure it out. Dennis is smiling. But it is fun just kind of seeing, seeing some stuff on the layout, seeing how some things fit. It is kind of funny, the difference in size. These are both N scale, but a different time, definitely a different time periods, different size buildings for sure. But those are definitely really cool. Yes, Lynn's does have lighting. It absolutely does. Absolutely does. So this is what I've been up to. This is what I've been doing. I am going to keep going on this track work. I think you guys probably may have noticed, but we were talking about flat surfaces, and I do definitely have a little bit of a problem as I come around this corner here. I have to find a spot for all this stuff so that I can keep laying track. But I'm gonna keep just laying. I'm gonna keep laying the track. I'm just gonna get it down, and we'll see what happens from there. I think it's gonna be a cool project. I don't know. I mean, I hope so at least. From the city that never sleeps, farewell, model citizens. That's the wrong button. Jeez.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.